Hi, I'm Maggie. Welcome to Experiments in Crafting. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make the single crochet. Single crochet is one of the most basic stitches, and it's a good place to start when you're learning to crochet. I've already chained 12, and I've got them on my hook and ready to go. To start your single crochet, you need to insert your hook into the chain. You can do this pretty much any way that you want. I like to go through the center of the chain and put my hook in so that the top loop and the back bump are on the top side of my hook, and the bottom loop is on the back side of my hook. You can also insert your hook so that you pick up the top and bottom loops and leave the back bump on the back side of the hook. If you're starting a baby blanket that has an edging, you might want to insert your hook into the chain so that you only have the back bump on the top. This leaves these two loops free to attach your edging at the end of the blanket. So I'm going to insert my hook the way I started by putting it right into the center and picking up that top loop and the back bump. So now I have the original loop on the hook and the two loops from the chain. I'm going to cross my yarn over my hook, rotate my hook, grab that yarn, and pull it through the chain. I now have two loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, bringing the yarn from the back around to the front, and pull that yarn through both loops on the hook. I'll show you that again. Insert your hook, yarn over, draw up a new loop, yarn over again, and pull through both loops. And if you're having trouble drawing through both loops at the same time, you can go ahead and pull through one and then two loops. You don't have to do it all in one motion. And then you just continue this all the way down the line. If you're having trouble getting your hook into your chain, you may want to pull your chains out and use a slightly larger hook, or try chaining with a little bit less tension. Sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to get your hook into really tight chains. All right, I'm inserting my hook into the very last loop, and you can see there's still a V shape, so I know that there's a chain here. I'm going to insert it, drop my loop, yarn over, and draw through my last two loops. You'll notice there's a little bit of a knot right here that's from your original slip knot. That will sort of disappear when you sew this tail into your project, so don't worry about that too much. To start the next row of single crochet, you need to chain one. So I'm going to yarn over and draw that loop through the loop that's already on my hook. This gives the new row a little bit of height. If you try and crochet without adding a little bit of height to your next row, the stitches on the very end are going to be squashed together. All right, now I'm going to turn my project. And I always want to turn so that my working yarn stays in the back. If you turn backwards, your yarn will come around to the front, and then you'll have to cross it to get it in the back, and it will end up making this stitch twist around, and it won't work as well. So turn it to the front so that your yarn stays in the back. All right. Going to look at the top of my stitches, and I have 2 lines making a V shape. When you insert your hook into the first row of single crochets, you want to insert your hook under both loops. If you insert your hook under just one of the loops, either this one or this one, you're going to end up creating lines across your pattern, which in some patterns you might want to do that, but for regular single crochet you do not. So I'm going to insert my hook under both loops, cross my yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, and draw through both loops. Insert my hook, cross the yarn over, draw a loop up, yarn over, and pull through both loops. And I'm just going to continue that all the way down my row. All right, now I've reached the end of this row, and I know I have 1 stitch left because there's a V shape here, but there's sort of like a little lump on the side. That little lump is from that chain that we skipped to give the row some height. So I'm going to insert my hook into just the actual single crochet, pick up those top 2 loops, drop a loop, and pull through both. It's a good idea to keep track of your stitches and make sure that you're counting them at the end of each row. And I have 11 stitches, which is what I expect because I chained 12. But remember, we skipped that stitch at the very beginning. So I only made 11 single crochets in the first row, and now I've made 11 single crochets in the second row. It's a good idea to check your count after each row because you might have gotten off by making an extra single crochet in the same stitch or by skipping over a single crochet, so you might have lost a stitch. And again, I'm just going to work down the row so you can follow along and see what single crocheting looks like. When you've reached the end of your project, all you have to do is snip your yarn, chain 1, and pull the tail all the way through the stitch. Then take your fingers and just tighten that down. And then you'll just take a yarn needle and sew this tail into your project. And that's all there is to single crocheting. If you have any questions about the single crochet, leave those in the comment section below. If you like this tutorial and you'd like to see more like it, hit subscribe. Thanks for watching.